I'm Lisa Portolan and I'm here for the local look Canberra, and it's the next iteration of In Her Narnia. We're looking into Canberra women's wardrobes, and today we're looking into Kelli's wardrobe. Kelli is from Pure Pod. She's one of the co-owners alongside her husband Sean Watson, and they've had the business since 2007. It's an eco-friendly, sustainable fashion label, and today I just first like to talk to you about what brought you to fashion. How did you find your passion?
I think that's the only thing I can ever remember ever wanting to do, apart from maybe being an archaeologist. I know.
Oh, I did too. I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Strange, because I was really into digging in the garden and getting rocks and twigs and checking things out really closely in the yard around here. But also I had a really creative family and a grandma who was a tailor, so I think it just, you know, all the bloodline went down to me.
Yeah.
So ever since I was little, and it actually started in this room because this is our old lounge room, I used to make Barbie doll clothes and Snoopy clothes and all, and knitted stuff, but most of it was made with my Holly Hobby sewing machine that I had when I was probably about 6 or 7, I think.
Wow.
And then I've always made clothes. I've always been interested in textiles and art and textile design, and also creating actual clothing. And I remember always just sitting there watching my mum madly sewing for the next, school fete, and she was constantly sewing all the time, and I'd be helping her stuff like toys, and also being inspired by what my grandmother had done. So she was a Scottish tailor.
Wow.
And she used to make, very old-fashioned traditional techniques where they'd pretty much measure your body and they'd pretty much cut it out on the fabric as it was, and a lot of it was hand done, and so she had amazing skills. So my mum and auntie they'd go and find a picture somewhere and come back and say to her, can you make us this? And they'd always end up with the most glamorous outfits in the neighbourhood.
Oh, I can imagine.
And I have some of them as well still now that were my mum's. And then I went to the CIT and studied fashion design there, and then after that, because there wasn't really any industry here, I had a small menswear business with a friend of mine, Tracy, that I studied fashion with, which was really good. Like, we used to make a lot of paisley shirts and boxer shorts and all this sort of stuff for our first business. And then I found, because there wasn't much industry here, I went to Melbourne and worked in big production houses. So I started with a kids' wear job, the first place that I went to. I pretty much, had my backpack, went to Melbourne, had some friends down there. I had like $100 left before I got my first job in the industry, which was great. So yeah, that's how I kind of started. Yeah.
Wow. One of the things about Kelli's business is that it's completely sustainable and eco-friendly, and I think that a lot of people are moving towards that type of fashion, but I sort of wanted you, Kelli, to tell us a bit more about sustainable fashion and what it really means.
Well, I suppose because I have a love for the environment, because I was the kid in the garden digging and, investigating all the bugs and the plants, and I still save bugs out of the sink and do all that sort of stuff. So the environment is really important. Plus we used to go camping a lot, and my dad was really into nature and into bird life, and, I suppose he made us aware of those things as well. And plus camping a lot as a kid too. Like, I had a real love for the bush, and a lot of my, friends that I grew up with, we used to run off up to the bush and, run around and enjoy the bush. So that kind of part of me, and then also the fashion side of me as well. When I worked in the big industry, there seemed to never be this connection of both, and I always used to remember in Melbourne finding, I'd go out to makers' places, and they'd, it was just sweatshops and things like that in those days. It was back in the 90s.
Yep.
And then slowly over time things started being made offshore. But I remember that just, worrying about these families and these people that would make this clothing. And if there was any problems, they'd be sent to go back to the factory and fix them overnight. And it's just like, that was just insane. So, I can't even imagine what kind of work and how much they got paid for that in those days. 10th year birthday celebration next year, we're actually launching a fully fair trade organic cotton collection, which is what I'm wearing, and some of this, a lot of it we showed at Fash Fest. So basically, it's all fully certified. So it's all fully fair trade certified, GOT
Wonderful.
certified, and Flow certified.
Yep.
Which basically means that it's an open supply chain, and every part of the process, the people have been looked after, been paid, proper fair living wages. There's no heavy metal chemicals in it, and it's all GOT certified with all the dyeing processing, and it's not affecting the environment as much as commercial clothing.
That's wonderful, and it's a lovely collection. Looks great on you too. So tell us about your new website's coming out shortly. So where can people purchase these products from?
Well, we've got a whole lot of new stockists on board,
Yep.
all around Australia, plus the new website. So I'm just doing the final tweaks.
Yes.
Just taken ages, but it's actually been us preparing all year to launch back into wholesale, and also this particular kind of collection, because it is made offshore apart from what we make locally in Australia. So it has been a lot of background work. So you'll be able to buy it on our new website and through Instagram, our Instagram site, plus also in Canberra at the Assemblage Project in Braddon.
Yep.
And also we'll be at Cardiff Collective.
Wonderful. So you also have a few other interesting pieces in your collection that we have plucked out to talk about today. And one of them is my absolute favourite, which is something that your grandmother actually put together and that you have since worn.
Yes, I have.
Can you tell us a little bit about this dress? And it's got such a lovely back too.
Yeah, and there's the little purse.
And the matching purse
goes with
that
it.
she put together. Yeah.
So she made this for my mum as a ball gown. So I've got actually photos of my dad and mum's wearing this beautiful dress, and then I've got photos of me at a ball wearing this dress. So yeah, she was a tailor from Scotland, and she just used to be able to make the most amazing things. Yeah.
It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And the second piece that we've got here today is, for me, this is such an artwork. It's just a living, breathing artwork, this dress. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so this one was made, we were sponsored by BMW Australia and Rolf Classic BMW from Canberra last year for Undress Runways, which is Australia's sort of biggest ethical fashion parade.
Yes.
And basically part of this, it was basically a collaboration to talk about sustainable design. So it was about their, electric and petrol cars, so the BMW i. And this is part of their symbol actually that they used for that particular car that I used in this collection. And these pieces were actually made from Australian wool, but they were made by a tiny family, another little family business in Nepal. So I sent them the symbol, and then they cut out all the pieces by hand pretty much, and then we stitched them all together. So this has been shown in loads of parades around Australia and at Fash Fest recently as well. So,
well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for letting us into your wardrobe and having a look at some of your collection. Kelli, it's just such a great initiative, and you're super talented. The dresses, the outfits are just absolutely beautiful, but it's also about the message behind it around sustainability and eco-friendly clothing, organic, local, all those bits and pieces which makes your line so amazing. So please go out there and visit Kelli's website as well as her Instagram and other social media presences, and have an opportunity of owning one of these wonderful pieces. Thank you so much, Kelli.